And that's when I go from products to people. You have to hire out people in order to scale. And you got to do it really, really carefully and hire excellent people. And typically I say, like, this might be counterintuitive, but I always want to not be the smartest person in the room, like never. I only want to hire people who I know are way better than me at this key component of the business and to let them run. And now that's how you reach scale in growing your company, is by hiring really great people and having them focus on a specific thing that they're way better at than you. And so, yeah, product one and people two have been how we've continued to grow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Business of Learning podcast. My name is Joao Camargo, and my guest here today is Alexander Hollis, who is the founder of NurseHub. Alex, thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited for our conversation.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
Why don't we start off in the exact same way that I start every single one of these conversations, Alex? You, the guest, just sharing with everyone a little bit more about yourself, a little bit more about NurseHub, who you are, and who you help.
Sure. So my name is Alex Hollis, and I'm the founder and CEO of NurseHub. NurseHub's goal is to help end America's nursing shortage by providing the best online education support for nurses and nursing students. My background actually is in education. I'm not in nursing. So I was a high school physics teacher in Mississippi via Teach for America. And while I was there, I had a lot of students who wanted to pursue nursing and really struggled with the entrance exams here into nursing school. And those that did get into nursing school really struggled in that critical first semester, where we see about 50% of students drop out, which is a remarkable number.
Yeah.
And that always really stuck with me. And it was especially disturbing because these folks would have been amazing nurses. They were compassionate, they were smart, they were hardworking. But there was just that gap of being able to pass the test and then succeed in nursing school. And, Mississippi, like much of rural America, is a healthcare desert. It needs as many healthcare professionals, including nurses, as possible. And so to have that gap exist there was even more troubling. And so that's what inspired me to create what eventually became NurseHub several years later.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I wanted to highlight something. I think nurses are one of the professions and careers that are very overlooked by everyone else, but they are the ones that take care of everyone when we're at our lowest, the most annoying, the worst to deal with. Plus, obviously, some even more extreme circumstances that they're taking care of. And we're all just like, yep, nurses, they're great. But like, no, they are literally the ones that allow us to have the health that we have and take care of us in the best way possible.
Yeah. I mean, they're the most amazing, like, they really are the most amazing people. And I've gained so much more respect for them, having worked with them and alongside them for the last several years. I mean, they're always dealing with us in our most vulnerable and sometimes our least gracious times. And they do it flawlessly in it 24/7. And just the hours are difficult. The stuff that you need to know is really super challenging. And I mean, they're incredible. I've always thought like nurses and teachers are two of the most underpaid and underappreciated careers in America right now.
Yeah,
sure.
100%. And I'd love to just shift back here into NurseHub, but now you're actually helping them as well. So that number, 50%, is a huge number, right? And there is, I would assume, a big reason for it. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that you see from a lot of these students, these soon to be professionals who sometimes achieve it, and half of them actually, this isn't for me, or they don't pursue that that further than they would have liked or than they would have thought of in the first place? What do you think are some of the patterns that makes that happen, and how you guys come in to be able to solve that?
Yeah. So this number is derived from not just research, but like our own conversations with B2B partners and folks when we go out and talk with nursing educators and deans at nursing schools and nursing programs. And it's really harrowing that it's up to, we've heard from folks where 50% of their cohort drops out in that first semester. Nursing school is extremely difficult. Everything that we hear from nursing students is that the amount of information that you need to learn in such a short amount of time. Let me just show you what the nursing fundamentals textbook
Do
looks
it.
like.
Do it. Get it. I love some live interaction here. Live examples, live action. I love
So
it.
this is this is nursing fundamentals. So if you were to think of like nursing 101, basically, this is what that textbook
Yeah.
looks like. And this is one of a few classes that you're taking your first semester. And for anyone who is listening and not watching, like it's very heavy. As you guys, um,
It looked like a triple stack of Bibles. That's what it looked like.
it's it's so much information to take in. And a lot of these students, they're not just full-time students. They're typically uh, taking their nursing classes and taking care of their family, and they have a job to try to support their family and the cost of going to nursing school. And so, I mean, when do you sleep? So it's just, it's incredibly challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a gap that we've identified with a lot of students incoming to nursing programs where they have not been provided the critical thinking skills that's required to really succeed long term in nursing. There's a lot of gaps in our public education system, especially with folks who went through COVID and are really missing a couple of years of their education, and now they're coming into nursing school, which is already challenging. These gaps are even more exacerbated. So, what we did, we continued hearing the same thing over and over again from teachers, from deans, from provosts, and so we put together a suite of courses for students that right now we call nursing school essentials. You could think of it as like Jumpstart Nursing School or
Sure.
Nursing School 101 type deal, but it's intended for those students who have gotten into school, and before that first semester, we try to take them from where they are. We meet them where they are. We try to get them all the way up to where they need to be in order to be successful on day one in nursing school. So that's everything from workshops on critical thinking and note taking and how to prepare for class, like all those soft skills that you really need.
Sure.
In addition to a robust math refresher to help you get used to all the math that you're going to have to do for dosage calculations, catching you up on the A and P gaps that you may have had from either your prereqs or high school, and then getting you ready for simulation with a Sim 101 class. And so we've started working with schools, providing this to them to help them get ready, or to help the students get ready for school. So they come in on day one and they're ready to start, and there's less time needed for remediation, and there's less overwhelm in that first couple of weeks of that first semester. And that's been really successful. And we have some really great partners that we've worked with to build and launch this. And it's now in schools across the country. So it's really
amazing.
exciting.
Yeah. So it's not even, and just to clarify here, it's not a substitution of the school or the fundamentals, but it's really the foundations to then get them taking that right step confidently. It's the right step, as opposed to just, oh yeah, I'm gonna like dip my foot in the water and hope for the best. Like, no, they have everything that they need to then be successful in their journey instead of 50% dropping off.
Exactly. And so a lot of schools want to teach this kind of stuff, but they can only require so many credit hours and charge for so many credit hours for a degree. And so obviously you need to teach things like peds and fundies and pharma. You don't have the time to teach the things that these students really need, like critical thinking and note taking, and these things that I know I was never even taught in high school. I think when I went into college was when they first taught me how, like, this is how you actually should treat going to class, which is, read the information the night before, take your notes, and go in and try to approach class more as like a gap filler for your notes, and an opportunity to either solidify your learning or gain even more context to your learning, rather than having it be the first place where you're walking in, you're trying to like catch water from a fire hydrant with a Dixie cup with all the information coming at you. So doing everything that you can to prepare yourself the day or night before going in. It's just like one of the things that helps me be successful in college, and that we're teaching a lot of these students. It's a little more in depth than that, of course, but
yeah, of course.
But even that is just a great tip.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even just that, I hadn't personally heard that before, so I'm learning that from you right now, which I can see how applicable and how useful that would be as well. So very, very awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alex. I would love to shift the conversation here into NurseHub itself. And something that I always like to highlight in this podcast is that, yes, as business leaders, business owners, we want to have a certain impact, which oftentimes is the reason why we created the company in the first place. But that impact can only be reached if the business grows. And if the business doesn't grow, then the impact doesn't happen either. Along the way to achieve some of that growth, there are many challenges, many obstacles. Business is not sunshines and rainbows, as we are very well aware of. So I'd love to hear from you. What are some of those challenges? What are some of those obstacles that you are facing on a day-to-day to keep the company growing? And of course, finding more students to help, but also even possibly schools and such to partner with as well.
Yeah, I mean, starting and growing a business is quite a journey, and I feel like I've had several different jobs in doing this. And so, for example, like when I first started the company, you're doing everything. I was writing the educational content, recording the videos, built the website, was doing the customer service, and it really was a 24/7 job. I remember so many times I'd be driving, and my wife was our chief operating officer, because she's been crucial in helping this company grow from day one. But
Amazing.
we'd be driving, and I'd get a ding on my phone, and be like, "Oh, customer, we need to help them. Like, can you do the support chat while I'm driving?" I mean, it's just like it was 24/7.
Yeah.
And then you're spending nights just sweating it out, being like, "Is this even going to work? Like, what am I doing?" And then it starts to grow. And I think one of the biggest things that helped us grow in the beginning is, and this may sound facetious, but like just building a really fantastic product that works is the key for us to growth. And it sounds simple, but our two biggest acquisition channels to date are word of mouth from students, and then two is word of mouth from schools. So if you're building something that people need and it works, you will get some growth. But then, you hit that plateau and you have to keep going. And that's when I go from products to people. You have to hire out people in order to scale. And you got to do it really, really carefully and hire excellent people. And typically I say, like, this might be counterintuitive, but I always want to not be the smartest person in the room, like never. I only want to hire people who I know are way better than me at this key component of the business, and to let them run. And now that's how you reach scale in growing your company, is by hiring really great people and having them focus on a specific thing that they're way better at than you. And so, yeah, product one and people two have been how we've continued to grow.
That's awesome. And actually, I'd love to clarify as well. What's like the split between direct students that you guys are helping and then schools themselves? Is it like an 80-20? What does that actually look like?
Sure. So if you look at on a revenue basis, 90% of our revenue is B2C right now, with a growing amount of B2B as far as our revenue makeup goes.
Sure.
We also have a pretty fantastic B2B2C strategy where we've been partnering with schools, but circumventing all the red tape and the really long sales cycle by having them recommend or even require NurseHub to their incoming students.
Awesome.
So that's also been a great lever for.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know we had actually touched on that in our first conversation, but nobody was there, so I wanted to re-highlight that as well. So that's awesome. And thank you for highlighting that, the initial challenges and how to solve them as well. How do they differ from the challenges that you are facing nowadays? And I'll frame it in this way here, that I've been asking almost every single person that's been coming onto the podcast. I think it allows for a great way to take off the cap for thinking. So your answer can go wherever you want to go here. If you had a magic wand, Alex, that you could just wave to solve one specific challenge, one obstacle, one hurdle, whatever you like to call it in the company, that would then allow you to hit all your growth goals, your client acquisition goals, your revenue goals, this wand is just for one thing. And it's only for one thing because as business leaders, oftentimes we are facing a plethora of different priorities to focus on. But here you just get one. Wave that magic wand, one thing that gets solved that will allow all the growth to come. What's the one thing you want to solve?
Oof, that's such a hard question. Um, I would say unlimited funds, and that's a boring answer. But I would
And I
use
won't
that
let you
to
get away
continue.
with it.
But I would use that to continue just hiring and then taking care of the best people possible.
Sure.
Right? We see a lot of other folks out there who are excellent influencers for nursing educating influencers who are so fun and so engaging. And they're teaching just like their own micro piece of the nursing education journey.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to, if I could wave a magic wand, I would have them all join the NurseHub platform so that we could
Mm-hmm.
very quickly help any one of the students or schools that comes to us, because we have experts who are teaching to that very specific need or niche.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's hard to do that and scale out and get all of these folks, because nursing is such a um, it's such a deep, rich amount of knowledge that you have to have, and there's so
Sure.
many different niches and pathways that you can go that it's really difficult to help absolutely everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could wave a magic wand and just bring on every educator for every piece of the nursing journey, that is what I would do right now. And instead, that is the end goal. But we have to, build a little bit, take on some more money, hire out some more folks, build a little more, get
Uh-huh.
some more money, because we're entirely bootstrapped. We haven't taken on any investors to date, so
Mm-hmm.
we're working off of the money that we make.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And it actually, it almost sounds like it's attached to what you were saying before into building a very significant, valuable product, right? Because if the product does its job, as you were saying, then people tell more people and then more people tell more people. And then it's that exponential growth that we see, right? But even I'll add on to that here. And if you disagree with it, let me know. If that's the case, you have such a great product and you keep improving that, of course, then you add the right people, which makes everything even better. Once you turn on any type of marketing on the side of it, there's a next level of exponential growth that comes from it, because now more people that might not know who you guys are from word of mouth find out. And then those new people that find out about it tell more people, just like the old people. So then it just becomes that exponential growth with the right people in place, with the right product in place. And it's that set foundation that allows the business to then scale in a predictable way, but also in a sustainable way. Would you agree, disagree?
No, absolutely. So our third most significant acquisition channel is organic social. So it's
Mm-hmm.
people who either are studying with us, like on TikTok, they're going live and they're studying on the NurseHub platform and they're live streaming that. Um, or it's people going on TikTok or YouTube and providing their recommendations, and including NurseHub among that. So yeah, I mean, it's it's the word of mouth via social. Obviously, it's viral in the sense that like one person tells one person, and that
Sure.
person tells two people, and those people tell more people,
Mm-hmm.
and so it can just exponentially grow. And if you do have the funds and you're doing it correctly, you have the right funnel, then yeah, you could put some marketing dollars behind it and definitely fuel your growth that way.
Yeah.
Our
I love
limitation right
that.
now is where
Go
um,
ahead.
we're very much stuck at where we have this one piece of the puzzle of the journey solved, right? So if you're a nurse, you're going through your prereqs, your pre-nursing stuff, and then your entrance exams, and then nursing school, and then the NCLEX, and then transitioning to bedside, and then CEUs and advanced certifications.
Mm-hmm.
And we do extremely well with entrance exams. Um, that's our bread and butter. And that first semester of nursing school. So again, like what would help us grow is more product. And so like
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're continuing to reinvest our profits into is expanding our product catalog so that we can extend our lifetime value of our customers and continue serving them throughout their entire career, their entire journey through
Mm.
nursing.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that as well. I would love to ask you one final question here, Alex. And this actually is not a question from me. It's a question from our last guest to you, and they had absolutely no idea who you were.
Oh,
So
cool.
here's the question. You ready for it?
Yeah.
How did you go about your first sale? How did you go about getting your first sale when you were starting out, or maybe even your first sale after a huge pivot in the business?
Interesting. So my first sale would have been a B2C sale, which is just, we launched the site. And then I remember what the first website was, we were selling PDFs and it was on a Shopify store. So like we started super low fidelity. Um, and the Shopify app, at least at the time, it would make a ka-ching noise
Yeah,
when you
I think it
sold
still
something.
does that. Yeah.
And or it's a ka-ching. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. We just sold something. And then it was going, and then like there was a point where we had to turn it off because it was just like all the time, which is great. Really more interesting answer to that question would probably be our first B2B sale.
Okay.
And those were folks who came to us. And again, it speaks back to just creating a great product. They approached us and said, our students are really successful using your program, and we would like to talk to you about making an institutional purchase. And it was at that point where we realized we had an opportunity here with B2B. It wasn't even until someone approached us, and because we had a great product that was successfully helping their students, that opened up this new revenue stream of B2B. And so yes, that was exciting. That's how that went down. Yeah, I don't know. Does that answer the
No,
question?
no, that of course it does. Yeah, and I think that's so awesome because it just ties back to everything that you were saying, and like it just pounds it with undeniable evidence of like, hey, if you have something that's really good, people will tell more people, and then those people actually told you, hey, I want you to talk to me and make
Yeah.
this a thing between us.
Yeah. So I would say, any entrepreneurs out there, like really focus on just making an excellent product, and let your customers do a lot of talking for you. Of course, you have to go out there and you have to sell. And if you watch
Yes,
Shark Tank and everything, like, they
yes,
always talk about how it's amazing salespeople that can build really great businesses. And of course, like being a great salesperson is going to unlock a
Mhm.
lot of revenue, especially early on, but you have to have a great product, because even if you are a great salesperson, if you're selling a garbage product, they're only going to stick around for a minute
100%.
and then what? So
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I completely agree with you, Alex. Thank you so much for your time. This has been so insightful. It's such an incredible conversation. Thank you for sharing all the stories as well. Where should people go if they want to learn a little bit more about you, and of course, also a little bit more about NurseHub?
sure. So nursehub.com is our website. And I would say check us out on TikTok. We go live 17 times a week. So you'll
Oh,
definitely be
nice.
able to see us going live, see the people that I was talking about who are behind the magic of NurseHub and that are helping this company grow. So if you search NurseHub on TikTok, I'm pretty sure our handle is at nursehub_TikTok. Uh, I would say check us out there or at nursehub.com.
Amazing. I will leave as many links as I can down below here for TikTok, YouTube, whatever exists for NurseHub. If it's not there, it doesn't exist. And if it is there, just check that out. So if you enjoyed listening to this conversation and you also want to hear more conversations like this, please also hit the subscribe button on the channel. And I will see you on the next episode. Alex, thanks again for your time.
Thank you.